vinyl community. How are ya? How the hell are ya? Welcome to Cosmic Vinyl. And of course, you know I'm Cosmic Brian. I got records falling all over the place. It's out of control here in the cosmic realm. When is it? When is it ever controlled environment here in the realm? Oh, you want to hear that again? Kind of thumping, isn't it? You want to know what we're listening to right there? Well, I'll tell you. It's called Marry My Hope. I think it's 89-ish maybe. Kind of alt rock coming out of like the 80s stuff, moving into kind of the 90s alt rock stuff. I think these guys are maybe out of Athens, Georgia. But you know what? I'm not going to speak too much to it because it's going to be in a future Far Out Finds video. That's right. This is a Far Out Finds. Got it. Wait, what? You didn't hear what I said? You didn't understand? All right, I'll do it one more time. It's a Far Out Finds. All right, let's get the mind shields off and let's get to rocking here. Mind shield removal. Everybody get your... Okay, let's calm down here. Just everybody slow down. You guys are rushing me. Just slow down, vinyl community. Let's go with sponsored by... okay, sorry. Amberbach from Michelob. Alright. Big chug.
Oh, yes, my good friend of course.
See, you guys should know by now, when I say big chug, you grab your beverage, whatever, if it's a cold bev, warm bev, smoke bev, whatever you got, hoist it up, fire it up for your big chug or big tug. Right? Here in the cosmic realm. Alright, enough goofing around. Let's get to the music, right? I got some great stuff too. I'm gonna pull a little more volume off of that. I want you guys to be able to hear me when I talk about, hey, look who's here! You're kidding me! Back from a long hiatus. It's Skelly!
How you doing, Brian?
How am I doing? I'm doing great. Welcome back, Skelly.
Yeah, don't fuck with me, Brian.
Me and you are gonna have to sing another duet one of these times. We did one not long ago, remember that? Alright, Skelly, go have a seat. Alright. Got a new lava lamp too. I'll show that in a new video too coming up. Come on, let's get to the business. Oh, forgot about little fleshy friend. He's in his Jesus Christ pose. Plasma. Excuse me. How about a couple boing boings for the road? Alright. Mind shields, disengaging. We're too close to the sun. My God, I can't believe I did with the melting. Okay, I'm not melting. Plasma is though. All right. Magic 8 Ball time. You know the cosmic question. The cosmic question today is, will we make it through this video without any dogs barking at me? Let's just see. My reply is no. And right on cue, we have a dog barking. So anyway, let's get on to the vinyl here. Hold on just a second. We're going to take care of this right now. All right, so first record coming out for the Far Out Finds is an album called MILKWOOD Tapestry. MILKWOOD Tapestry is an it's a self-titled album. This is 60s psychedelic garage rock, not garage rock, more psychedelic, more folk psych. This was a duo of Ronald, and I want to get the names right, Roland Antonelli and Joseph Ransohoff. And these guys were mainstays in the New York City rock circuit in the 60s. And I had never even heard of this record before. But I seen that one of the sellers that I follow on eBay that I get a lot of good deals from had this dirt cheap. And I thought, Jesus. First I thought I was getting an OG copy. This is obviously a repress. I assume the OGs are probably, if there is such a thing, are probably quite expensive. But yeah, this is great. This is kind of in the same vein as like the Incredible String Band or Fairport Convention, something like that. But then, you know, they can also have the same attributes as, say, a Jefferson Airplane or Jethro Tull. So, yeah, these guys can go from being super acidic type psychedelic music to quick, like whimsical, childlike, fairy tale type, like folk type rock in a minute. So, but the first couple of songs, I mean, okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit. I first played this. I streamed one song, and it was just so fuzzy and so psychedelic. I was like, oh shit, I don't even have to stream the rest of that. I'm just gonna pay the money, get the record, right? So I got it. My first listen, I was like, it went from that fuzzy song to like folk right away, and really mellow and just kind of lighthearted and a little bit fluffy. And I thought, God, this is not what I signed up for. But then sat down, you know how you really listen to something? You don't just hear it, you really listen to it. Got myself in the right frame of mind and sat down and put this puppy on, listened to it, and man, it's just so great. The musicianship here is top notch, and man, it does get crazy acidic, and it, like I said, does get a little folky as well. But the first song, Beyond the 12-Mile Zone, Jesus, that's a psychedelic tune that is so trippy and very heavy, by the way. And then another one that falls right into that same thing is called Signs of Invisible Chalk. And then the closing track, Journeyless Ride, on side one is also a banger. And but then you've got, you know, like I said, kind of a childlike, whimsical, fairy tale type stuff. A song called Wondrous Fairy Tale. And then you also have the Windowsill Song, Sunday Raindrops. But then you've got like kooky, trippy, psychedelic lyrics that are just like, woo-hoo-hoo, on songs like Seas of Marshmallow Bees, or Pink Painted Butterfly, or Purple Side of Sunset. Now just those titles alone are amazing. But yeah, these guys are great. Now just don't get me wrong, this isn't going to be for everybody. It kind of falls into that same trap that a lot of the psychedelic bands of the 60s came into, where you got like, maybe 3 or 4 bangers, and then the rest are just, they're still good songs, but they're not, super heavy psych. So, but I don't need that all the time, man. I'm a guy who likes all kinds of music, so the album to me doesn't have to be solid psychedelic. I like a little mixing it up. So yeah, this is great. Like I said, though, it's not going to be for everyone, but I am going to give this 3.5 peace signs on the peace sign scale. You know how that works, right, vinyl community? What? I've told you like 2 or 3 times. All right, I'll go over it. 1 to 5. 1 being the least amount of how much I dig it, and 5 being the most groovy of all. So, MILKWOOD Tapestry. These guys are great, man. And moving right along, now I know you guys are gonna know this band. They opened for the Beatles on their 1966 on their final tour. They opened on the Shea Stadium, I believe the Shea Stadium concert. So that's kind of their claim to fame. They were also on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I believe they were also on the Hullabaloo Show. But that band is the Remains. This is called A Session with the Remains. This is previously unreleased material of a studio session that they did back in, I believe it was 66. This was released in 96 on the Mighty Sundays label. I don't know if you guys can see that at all right there, but yeah, Sundays is an awesome, they reissue a lot of great 60s like Psychedelia and Garage and just some great music on that label. But yeah, the Remains, these guys were on contract with Epic Records, and they did release singles, and they had some success, but they just couldn't, even regardless of their stature of opening for the Beatles and being on TV, they just couldn't get over that hump to be like the big band. So this Boston-based band was in New York doing some gigs. They were offered to have an audition studio session for Capitol Records. So it was all set up. They said, of course, because they were kind of looking for, something to vault them over into that next level. So, but little did they know the sessions were going to be scheduled at like 9 in the morning. And this is following a night of New York City club gigs that they played. The club gigs were like anywhere from like 10 p.m. at night to like 4 in the morning. So, these guys were used to, hitting the sack at the crack of dawn and, getting up, at dusk and going out. So, anyway, they did this morning session. It was for Capitol Records at this Capitol Studios. They came into this rectangular room. It was this huge room. They brought all their gear. They dressed just like they were going to do if they were going to do a regular gig. And so they had this huge room. They all set up. They were kind of close together. They had a drum riser for the drums, a nice thing for the keyboards. And they just plugged into these, they brought their loudest equipment. And, the studio, like, producer guys were just like, yeah, do whatever you want, crank it up. And these guys were starting to get, they weren't too enthusiastic about the early morning gig, but then they started, seeing that they had all this freedom to do whatever they wanted, right? So they were able to crank it up, be loud. They were so used to, their earlier sessions with Epic of being producers coming in, dummying down the drums with pillows and stuff, trying to dull their sound. I mean, this was really going to capture their live sound, which they were a great live band. So this is totally live, but it just sounds absolutely killer. The production here is so good. It's so loud. From the opening chords and the opening introduction of Hang On Sloopy, and then going into All Day and All the Night by the Kinks. And then you can hear the banter between songs, and they do some Dylan. They do a lot of covers. They do a few of the originals, but God, this is so great. I mean, check this out. If I can get it close enough so you guys can see the band there. And just a great record. I love this. But and then there's a great interview with the band on the back here that says, they talk about how they've never sounded better on a record, and how, you know, they just once they got into it, even though it was boring, they were killing it and they loved it. So yeah, this is a great record. I was glad to pick it up. Sunday's record, a session with the Remains. Great stuff here. If you like the Remains, which who doesn't, I highly recommend this. I give this a 4.5 peace signs on the peace sign scale. You guys want to see the beast that's making all this racket? You're in it now. You barked your way into this video, so now you're in it. Lucy beat the vinyl community. This is Lucy. She's my baby girl. Now you're gonna have to sit here and pay attention. It's like a little kid. All right, next on the garage agenda here is, I've shown this to intro a video before, but I've never actually shown it and talked about it on camera. But this is the Monks Black Time. Now, I don't know why this is called Black Time. I think it's also known as Black Monk Time, but this is great 60s garage rock here. This is a crazy story too. The Monks were a group of GIs over in Gelhausen in West Germany that were stationed over there, and had a band that they played. They were called the Torquays, and they after they were, you know, discharged, they were offered by a producer from over there that he would, you know, pay for some studio time and record a record, and, you know, manage them, and, you know, get them some shows and some money and get them a paying gig. So they decided to stick around. Well, they went from being the Torquays and being just the 60s kind of just run-of-the-mill 60s rock band to being this almost like an avant-garde like art project. And as you can see by their look there, they dressed in, I mean, their look was about as shocking as their music. The music was these hypnotic rhythms, this minimal melody, shrill vocals, aggressive in-your-face type lyrical content, lots and lots of feedback, and also a 6-string electric banjo that was just, it was wild. It's a wild sound. It's very unique. But so the sound is quite shocking, but their look is just as shocking as the sound was. I mean, they had the look of Catholic monks with the, you know, they wore the black habits, and they also wore what are called, they're called cinctures, which are these rope things that they wear around their necks, sometimes worn also around their waists. And they're supposed to indicate like a devotion to their religion, like a surrendering to their God or whatever. They also had the haircuts where they shaved the scalp part of their head, called tonsures, and also shows religious subservience. But for these guys, it was just a way to buck the system and not to fall into, you know, they didn't want to conform to the usual rock and roll. So, but yeah, this is some great stuff. I love this. On the international label, songs like Monk Time, Shut Up, Boys Are Boys and Girls Are Girls, Higgly Piggly Dee, I mean, this is unique. It's fun. It's got a little darkness to it too, though. It's crazy. So yeah, the Beastie Boys and the Dead Kennedys both list the Monks as being an influence on them as they develop their sound. I love this. There's a special place for this for me in the vinyl during the vinyl community. My first day that I ever watched a vinyl community video, I had watched a documentary on the Monks on YouTube, which also led me to start watching vinyl community videos. And I was very sick when I was laying in there, just trying to watch things to keep me in good spirits. But and we've all heard my story. I'm not going to go into that. But the Monks, you gotta love the Monks. The Monks are getting a 4 peace signs on the peace sign scale. All right, next on the docket is another garage album out of Detroit. This is called Freddie and the Foregone Conclusions. I like that the clever play on words. It's 4 as the number 4 rather than FOR, Gone Conclusions. But this is kind of it's called Wigged Out Sounds. I think that has to do with the, whatever. Anyway, cool cover. I dig this. But this is a bunch of vintage Detroit garage guys led by one garage legend from Detroit named Freddie Fortune. Now, Freddie Fortune started in a band called the Covingtons back in the late 80s. I think I might even have a Covingtons CD. They were kind of punk garage. And later in the 90s, he hooked up with another fella named Michael Maltese, and they were Fortune and Maltese. They were also garage. And they were Fortune and Maltese and oh gosh, I'm gonna have to look here. Oh, the Fabulous Pallbearers, and they held their own too in the garage scene in Detroit. But you know, these guys are garage royalty in Detroit, and so they did this album. This came out in 2002, and they also picked up the keyboardist from Del Shannon. Now, okay, I'm gonna bring you'll know what I'm talking about here. The keyboardist's name was Max Crook. If you remember Del Shannon's band or song Runaway, oh God, it's an amazing, amazing song. It's one of the first songs that uses the mellotron, or I guess it's called a musitron, and that was Max Crook playing that part. It goes, and here you'll notice it. You get it? Remember Run? My little runaway, run, 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 run away. Love that song. Del Shannon's great, man. I got a box set of his. I'm gonna bust that out. I think I need to listen to it again. But this is great. They actually do a Del Shannon original on this called Stand Up with Max Crook playing on this record. Yeah, this is good stuff here. It's on the Get Hip label, which is kind of cool. Get Hip Records. See if I can show that to you. There you go. Pretty cool stuff. But I love this, man. Again, from that same seller that I got the other, some of the other earlier records there that I showed, that MILKWOOD Tapestry. I got this one from too. But yeah, this is so great. I recommend this. I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars, only because I've probably listened to this the least amount. Not because it's not good. I mean, 3.5 out of 5 is not a bad score. So, Freddie and the Foregone Conclusions out of Detroit. And now another Detroit band that everybody knows. My God, I'm so happy to show this record. Now, for lots of reasons. First reason is this cover. That cover is just slamming. I mean, This is so friggin' great. This is MC5 Thunder Express. Of course, it's got the, these guys were revolution. These guys weren't just musicians, they were revolutionaries from the, the Detroit area. And their like influence on punk and hard rock and glam and whatever, garage, is second to none. These guys are legendary. And then look at that cover with, you got the marijuana leaf. This is just, I would love to have a t-shirt or a poster or a patch or something with that on it. Okay, so now I've talked about the outside of this. Now I gotta show you the inside. This is gonna, it's got their White Panther Party, like, whatever this is, like their 10-point program, which it talks a lot about, freedoms and free everything, kind of almost socialist and communist almost. You'd think that's probably what people were so threatened by them. The cops were always on their shit, busting them for small drug charges. They got trumped up charges against them. There's some pictures there. Wait till you see this amazing colored vinyl. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, that is just absolutely beautiful. It's the green there with the, got the custom label, and then you've got the, I don't know if that's splatter or splush or whatever it is, but it just looks absolutely gorgeous. One drawback, this album has, this was a not before released studio session that doesn't sound good. Side 1 is really poor quality sound. Very much, too much treble, too much high end, but they talk a little bit about on the inside inside sleeve of this, of why that was. This Joe Sinclair that wanted to release this, help them release their music on the radio and get it played. Notice that there's previous songs that were released on the radio that the high part just kind of fell out in the mix, so it sounded bad. There was no treble hardly at all on the radio mixes. So what he purposefully did was he jacked up the treble on these, and so listening to it on an album or whatever, it sounds pretty bad. Not bad enough that I won't listen to it, because it's MC5, so what the hell. But the other side, now side 2 sounds much better, some great songs. It's got Kick Out the Jams, it's got Empty Heart. My favorite MC5 song is Ramblin' Rose. I just love Ramblin' Rose, just a killer track. I love when, the MC5, they get to the jam, you start jamming, and the singer, Tyner, I believe is his last name. Can't think of his first name. Rob Tyner, maybe. He just goes off on, kind of improvises, the lyrics and stuff. Just such a great band. Just a great jam band. Kick out the jams, motherfuckers. You got it right. MC5. Smoke weed. Listen to MC5. Be enlightened. Anyway, MC5. I love them. All right, last album here. Speaking of MC5, this is a band heavily influenced by MC5, heavily influenced by the Stooges. This is a band called the Live Ones, and the name of the album is called You're Quite Welcome. This is New York City power trio. This is your street level, proto-punk, gutter rock, garage rock, basement rock. Hell, they look like they're in a basement right there. I've partied in basements that look like that, tripping on acid and with a record player on the floor, playing Black Sabbath. Yeah, but this must be like their practice space or whatever. But these guys are bringing back the old, like MC5 street level type rock. Totally 70s hard rock oriented. Little glam in there, but not by the look. I mean, these guys are not pretty. These guys got bad hairlines. They're not trying to look pretty for anything. These are street toughs that play hard rock music. Simple, direct, just the essentials. You got your bass guitar, you got your lead guitar, you got drums, and you got shared vocals. Just great. This is true rock and roll, man, right here. If it feels like that lower level New York City, like CBGB's or Bowery, Chelsea Hotel. It feels like the slummy hard rock out of the streets. It's just so great. This says it was limited to 500 copies on this hype sticker, so I don't know what number I got, but who knows? Maybe number 3. I don't know. That's what it says on there, but I don't believe it. Anyway, live ones, you're quite welcome. New York Trio, proto-punk, street rock, proto-punk, in your face rock and roll. All right, that's my video. Hopefully it didn't go too long. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the good stories. Hope you enjoyed meeting my little puppy Lucy. She kind of forced her way into this video. So another big chug and we're out of here. So get ready to hoist up your drinks, everybody.
Oh, yes, yes, my good friend, of course.
Tasty stuff. All right, you guys, stay safe out there, man. Just wear your masks, man. Social distancing, man. Order records online. That's what I've been doing. I've been getting I've got videos coming up like you wouldn't believe. I've got so many records. You guys, I'll blow your minds. I promise. All right, you guys. I'll catch you on the next round, but stay cosmic. Woo!